Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the second part of our preview of the Evolve Beta from January 2015. I'm Don the Expert of Calls, and if you missed the first part where we were talking about the tutorial of the game, be sure to check that out either on our playlist on our main YouTube channel or in the annotations at the end of the video. In this part we're going to be discussing about the monsters and my personal thoughts of how they played out in the game. So first off, the initial monster that you're able to play as in the beta is of course the Goliath. There are the other monsters in there as well, however in my time playing the beta I was not able to unlock these simply because I wasn't able to put in as much time as I know other players have. However, I have faced against some of the other monsters, so I'll talk about them maybe a little bit more in my overall thoughts later on. So for the monsters you have a few things to keep in touch with. Number 1, the ability to climb. This will obviously give you the ability to climb up tall surfaces in order to get to certain areas really fast, or in order to go into a certain position ready to pounce on an enemy or a lesser creature for which you wish to eat to go towards your evolve points. Next is the ability to leap. Leaping does take a little bit of skill to learn and perfect, as it's not just a simple jump. Aiming in a particular direction will enable you to leap in a very different way. Aiming upwards will give you more of a high jump rather than an elongated jump, while aiming more across the middle of your screen, maybe a bit lower, will give you a deeper, longer lunge, which you can use to your advantage to either get in or get out of a fighting situation. On top of your movement, you also have a toggle on, toggle off stealth mode. This will help you to commit to stealth attacks, which enable you to do a series of blows on a target of your choice, either killing them, ready for you to eat them and put them towards your evolve points, or to just do heavy amounts of damage to any unsuspecting hunters out there. Just keep in mind that the stealth mechanic is indeed a toggle, and it isn't a simple hold it down in order to commit to the stealth, which can be really handy when you're especially moving on the go and you're going from one group of monsters to another for which you wish to consume, or you just really want to go into the stealth mode so you don't set off any of those flying buzzards that alert the trappers of where you are. But of course, the bread and butter of the monsters has to be their 4 major abilities. These abilities will differ depending on which monster you are. In this example, I'll tell you basically what the Goliath abilities are and what I think about them. His first ability is Rock Throw. Well, it's not called Rock Throw, but I like to call it Rock Throw. I mean, Pokemon, why not? This allows the Goliath to pick up a giant piece of the earth you're standing on and simply throw it. When you use the ability, you see an arc, which allows you to aim roughly whereabouts it's going to be thrown at, and this can definitely help you, because you can throw it to a static location and anyone nearby will be damaged. If you aim it correctly, and I've seen a lot of people manage to do this really good and it looks fantastic, you can aim it at hunters that are currently jumping in midair and smash them out of the air with a giant rock. That is incredibly satisfying when you pull it off. Second ability is Fire Breath, which, as you can probably tell, allows you to breathe fire. Whilst you're breathing fire, however, you are not able to use melee attacks, which does balance out the ability very well. Now of course, Flame Breath is going to work best when you have all the hunters, or any specific hunters, grouped around the front of you in a nice cone, so that you're just able to do continuous damage and literally see them crisp before you. His third ability, and possibly my personal favourite out of his entire moveset, is Leap Smash. This gives the Goliath a gigantic leap up, causing him to aim at a spot on the ground and smash it, doing damage to anyone nearby and flying them backwards. This is my personal favourite ability, especially for crowd control maneuvers, because you just jump into anyone that's bothering you, smash them, and it's a great way to either start a fight or even get out of a fight, or concentrate on that one guy that's just away from the rest of the team. It's very good for crowd control and is my personal number 1 ability for the Goliath. His final ability is Charge. This just allows you to do a massive, huge charge towards enemies causing damage and causing them to be flown back as well. Charge is also incredibly handy for when you have those pesky hunters in front of you and you just want to buck them out of the way. I actually liked the crowd control abilities more than the straight up damage abilities, especially when I prefer to do in combination leap smash, flame breath, charge, and then if I feel like it, maybe a rock throw after that. I didn't really concentrate on using rock throw that much because it felt incredibly situational, and although it had great range, Goliath isn't really built as a ranged monster. He is way better off in that melee position, especially with flame breath doing insane amounts of damage. So all these abilities are tied on your keyboard to the numbers 1, 2, 3 and 4, giving you quick access to any of those abilities at any other times. Overall, I really have no gripes when it comes to the monsters gameplay. They play exceedingly well, and you definitely feel more powerful than the hunters. But in the end of the day, the hunters can still take you out because it's up to you mastering the skill of hunting other creatures in order to get your evolve points up, and then evolving into that really big stage 3 moment where now you can have a big epic fight, which is really going to challenge who is number 1 on that battlefield. I'll definitely say, however, that there is a huge difficulty curve when playing as the monsters in comparison to playing as the hunters. There is a lot more to keep in mind, and because you are only 1 person versus 4, you have to stay on the move constantly. Make sure that you are being stealthed and you're being very smart with the way that you're moving around the area, and you're not just charging from point A to point B, hopefully trying to get to stage 3 as fast as you can. You have to think way more tactically, but this is literally going to bring out some fantastic gamers out there with skills that are going to blow your mind. So ladies and gentlemen, those were my thoughts on the monster gameplay for Evolve. Now in the next part of the preview, I'm going to be going deeper in another area of the Evolve beta of which I played in. If you want to check that out, then be sure to click on any of the annotations on your screen now, and they will take you to all the different parts of this preview. Or if you're watching this video on our preview article on videogamesuncovered.com, all you have to simply be doing is scrolling up and down whilst reading our written version of the preview, and you can check out on any of the other stuff that I have opinions on. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for tuning in. I'm Dom the Expert Coles from videogamesuncovered.com, and I will be seeing you on the other side.